everyone, and welcome to the Adaptive Esports tournament featuring Rocket League. Today is qualifier number 3, and I am very excited for today because there are some small changes, and we're going to be talking about those in just a little bit. I'm Glitter Explosion, though, joined by Frank, and it is going to be a blast.
Yeah, I know what kind of changes you're hinting at, and that, of course, is players in this qualifier get to select their teammates. So it was random seeds in the first two, but now we're going to get into kind of the nitty-gritty, and duos will be formed, and I'm sure we'll see some rivalries as well.
It's going to be massive, but here's how everything works. Now, we've already done our first 2 qualifiers, and today, like I said earlier, is qualifier number 3. We have one more around the corner, and then our LCQ. Now, the winner of the LCQ will qualify directly through to our finals there in January. And then as far as the format goes, of course, like I said, Rocket League 2v2, single elimination bracket, standard game rules with our 7-goal limit, which now after 2 qualifiers has actually been used quite a few times.
Yeah, I think we've seen it both times in grand finals and maybe in a semifinal as well. And I think more often than not, it's been used to kind of like close out the series, which has been exciting where, you know, they're kind of putting the end to the series right away and really doing so in a dominant fashion. And now that these duos are kind of paired up, I wonder if we'll see more and more of that as kind of that skill comes together now in the bracket.
Right, the power duos.
Yeah. That's
what's going to happen. Now, of course, it's a best of 3 until we make it through to the finals. Then we'll have a best of 5 there to close the whole qualifier out. And $3,000 on the line for every single qualifier, Frank, okay?
Yeah.
There's tons of cash still up for grabs.
Yeah, tons of cash still up for grabs, and now we might see some repeat winners as well, because I think when we get into that bracket graphic, it's going to be a little bit of a treat, but I might be getting ahead of myself, so I'll throw it back over to you.
No spoilers, but of course, if you think you can possibly be one of our $3,000 winners, you can head on over to aet.gg to get yourself applied to sign up for our tournaments, and then directly after the broadcast today, okay, we've done these a couple times now, and they have been super fun. Really, really fun. We have our community game night. Like I said, immediately after this, go hang out, have some fun, because the last 2 Fall Guys ones, if you missed it, what are you doing?
You missed it. Don't miss any more, I think is the point. But yeah, it's been a really great time. I think most people there have been enjoying it, and they also kind of have been tuning in and kind of doing a live watch party as well. So, you know, even if you're not joining in for the games, just join in for some of that camaraderie and laugh at our commentary.
Not only that, but chat, it's time for you to do !AET in chat, because we have a giveaway. This amazing Logitech G bundle will be up for grabs, and who knows, you might be one of the lucky winners. So like I said, !AET, because we want to give some stuff away to all of you for hanging out and supporting us along the way. And speaking of support, finally, let's talk about our charity partners, okay? If you want to head on over to aet.gg/donate, you can give a donation that will support any of our charity partners. You can see them listed down there below at the bottom, and there are some amazing causes. So if you have anything to spare, especially around the holidays, definitely do it.
Yeah, also worth noting that the donations are evenly split between all 3 partners as well. So don't have to worry about doing that math yourself, which is always welcome for me.
I love it. I love it. Okay, but this is what we were talking about. You alluded to it, Frank.
Yeah.
It's time to start talking about these storylines. This is our current leaderboard, and noticing something there at the top.
I mean, they already formed the super team, I think, is what's going to happen here. You have Fear the Nub and Michael Dot on the leaderboard at the very tippy top with 90 points each. Of course, you know, these names, no surprise there, as a lot of these players have been performing really well, but I know that the top, you know, number 1, tied for first place, have, I believe, formed that duo, and I'm just interested to see kind of how that goes through the bracket, who these other players have teamed up with, who's going to be taking down our number 1 and our number 1 at the top of the leaderboard.
I think it's going to be some really stiff competition now. Our quarterfinals, you can see how they all played out there. 2 O's across the board for every single one. And now we are in the semifinals. We'll be starting at the top of the bracket, which will be our number 1 seeded team, I believe, in double trouble up there against frequent Dr. Miles.
Yeah, and I like the names. You know, we don't have just the player names anymore up there. We're getting some identities formed. Yeah, I'm excited to see these ones play out. Again, with that first semifinal, it's hard to root against Fear the Nub
Right?
and Michael Dot, just from what we've seen from them in the past. We know how powerful they can be, but, you know, it wasn't an easy battle, I think, which is kind of the theme of this season of AET as well, is that all of the competition has gotten better, has been improving, has been, you know, bringing that to the table. So while I think, you know, yeah, they have kind of the edge right now, I do think some of these teams, some of these duos, depending on what we see here today, will kind of be able to contest a little bit.
Well, I'm ready to see what happens here today. I think we have Samael standing by in the wings as well, so I'm going to pass this off so you guys can take care of that and jump right into it.
All right, Samael, how we doing? Are you ready for some more 2v2 AET Rocket League action?
You know I am. I got to have that stock answer, I think, at this point, Frank, because you always ask me how I'm doing and if I'm ready. And obviously, yes, I'm very much ready for this. It's the highlight of my week at this point. 2v2, I've been playing 2v2 all day myself to kind of prime myself. Like I said before, it's the best game type. It's my favorite game type. It's the best game type. It allows for a lot of creativity out there on the field. We've seen that in the previous qualifiers, and I know we're going to see it tonight, especially now that the teams get to decide who they're playing with. I mean, you all talked about this, but that's the storyline. That's the storyline right now, especially with both of I almost said best players. We don't know that yet, but the players who are sitting atop the standings joining up. That seems unfair, but hey, it is what it is.
We can always fall back on the data. We don't have to call them the best, but at the time being, they are definitely at the tippy top of that leaderboard, and they have joined forces. They're going to be going up against a formidable opponent here, but it's Fear right off the rip trying to contest, but this one we cleared away into that blue side of the pitch. But of course we have Michael back on that defense. Like you had mentioned last time, Michael winning so many of those 50-50s, just giving his team that real kind of momentum advantage. But it's going to be frequent Dr. Miles in orange with Stairs Are Hard striking first against the tippy top of that leaderboard.
And you love it. You love that the storyline we're talking about gets absolutely demolished in the first 21 seconds. But hey, that's why the players come out here to play, and you love this aggression early from the orange side. They were all offense there. As soon as that ball came down, there was Stairs Are Hard to finish it off. So yeah, there we go. I mean, you know that things are going to be competitive as well. That's really the other storyline as we get down into the third qualifier. Oh, that is so close. I cannot believe that did not go in. Aerospace Wheeler definitely thanking his lucky stars on that one. But this third qualifier really going to show what these teams are made of, what these players are made of. This is when things really get down to the nitty-gritty and they shape up.
Yeah, that slight breeze coming into effect, but here's Michael answering back within a minute to tie us up at ones. And yeah, it's kind of going to a point that I was going to make before this goal went in, but you know, Fear and Michael at the top of that leaderboard, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to have each other on that same page, be understanding. You know, it might take a little time for some of that chemistry and synergy to develop, but what we do know is these are two very individually skilled players, and they're getting things going on offense for the time being. Orange team trying to get this cleared downfield, taking a couple bounces at that midfield mark, and it's another great 51 by Michael. Fear is in that backfield to be a little insurance policy, but Michael doesn't need it as Nubble Trouble now up by one.
And not just the 50 win, but the good recovery as well to get back down on his wheels, make sure he keeps his momentum and is right there for the shot. We talked about those 50s. You mentioned it coming in. Michael's so good at those. And in twos, there's just two players out there. You win a 50, all of a sudden that's an odd man break, and that's huge anytime you can. So it's going to be massive moving forward. Michael showing why it is there, and then already Blue looking for more as well off the kickoff, but now Michael going to have to get back. He doesn't have enough boost. That's going to be in. Yeah, he almost gets it, but not enough. Aerospace Wheeler gets one back.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying before we even got into this game. I wouldn't count any of this competition out. Sure, these are our top two players on that leaderboard, but I mean, you saw the games. This competition is fierce here this season in AET, so frequent Dr. Miles going to be tying us up at twos. This kickoff's going to go towards that blue side of the pitch. Fear going to take this one a little slow, but Stairs going to run right at him, try to steal that one away. Arrow, the halfway mark, has to hustle back onto defense. Stairs going to get a little bit of a save and to clear here, but it's Fear at midway on that pitch. Going to go up for this one. Can he get knocked down, wrapped around, and get this shot on net? No, looks like Orange is going to get the touch first. It's going to be another 50-50, but Fear Send this one up high. It's back into that orange corner. Fear has a nice little touch to square this one up center net, but a great two-man commit from the orange team will slow down that offensive push, and it's Arrow yet again on that transition. Almost scoring that goal, but that's going to go just wide right. Play is going to be reset midfield yet again. Fear trying to set something up, but it's going to be contested by Stairs. Stairs now trying to get the recovery, get that touch to set up Arrow, and Arrow able to send it over one and connect with the goal as frequent Dr. Miles finds themselves in the lead yet again.
Really good positioning there from Aerospace as he's midfield ready to accept that pass. It's a good hit there from Stairs are hard off the side wall, and then Aerospace beating Michael to the ball. We saw a little hesitation come from Michael, and we haven't said that much with how strong both Michael and Fear the Nub have been, as they really respecting their opponents right here. And it really shows that not only because it's the semifinals, but this third quarter final where we know these teams are really starting to find each other and figure things out. And speaking of figure things out, it's Fear the Nub responding back yet again. Back and forth we go in this series. Michael steps up, takes the ball away. Fear the Nub with the finish.
Yeah, great finish there by Fear the Nub, tying us back up at threes as we're just under that halfway mark and starting to question whether or not Nubble Trouble's just kind of doing some information gathering, starting to download their opponents, figure that out. Because after talking with Michael after that previous qualifier, it was kind of, what he said. He wasn't in a big rush, and there they go, starting to widen that margin with another quick goal to take the lead back away from frequent Dr. Miles. And yeah, I think that's one thing, kind of speaking with Michael during that little interview segment we did, is he's, keen to play things patient, doesn't want to overextend, doesn't want to get too, I don't know if you would even call it overconfident, but just over-aggressive, wants to make sure the fundamentals are there and that he's playing towards his opponents as well, not just trying to score goals for goals' sake. So starting to get a little bit of a read here. Defense as Fear goes up, be able to intercept that one. Stairs tries to get the aerial touch, but be just slightly off target. No Fear playing this one a little bit slow. Maybe looking for a pass there over to Michael, or just trying to get that clear away from the defense. Michael rushing into this one off the sidewall. Has this one centered up on net. Fear is up for it, but contested by Arrow. Now Stairs gonna clear this one towards the opposite end of that pitch. Michael off the backboard, however, sends this one right on target to midfield. Drops down. Arrow does have the reception, but Michael has the takeaway. The pass over to Fear, but it's a great save from Arrow there to deny Nubble Trouble, extending that lead. Over a minute left to play now. It's Michael continuing to look to be aggressive here. A little pass over to Fear, maybe a pass back. Slips it by one defender, but that position and going to throw this one in reverse. Tries to flip around. Michael now chasing this one down. Ooh, an Aerospace, unfortunately missing that touch. Going to slow down their offensive push just a bit. We're now under 1 minute left to play. Good little save by Fear there, not getting tricked by that one, and it's a great pass over to Michael, who manages to connect and take the lead by 2.
And unfortunately there for Stairs are hard, he has no boost, so he's got to decide, how am I going to get back? I got to gain some momentum. He flips. It's really the only thing he can do, but unfortunately can't catch up to the ball. Good look on net. And that's that transition you talked about, making sure you're defensively responsible while also keeping an eye on offense as well. But of course, frequent Doc Miles, they're trying to get back into this game. They need a goal. Now they need 2. They're going to start taking chances, of course, but you've got to figure out how to keep that balance. It's a tightrope, no doubt about that. And now it's 30 seconds to go, and they've got to get 2 back here. Aerospace, Wheeler, and Stairs are hard. Looking to press. They've done so good with 3 goals so far, but they will need more. Here's Aerospace 1v1 against Fear the Nub. Gets it past. The shot is through. 5-4.
Yeah, beautiful play here by Arrow, doing exactly what his team needed. They needed a quick goal, kind of trying to get this one within 1, maybe tie it up, force that OT, and Nubble Trouble, unfortunately, trying to stall this one out didn't work in their favor, but to see what the game has in store for us off this kickoff, slightly favored towards the blue side. It's going to be Arrow up for it yet again, manages to pass that one over Fear. Michael has to rush back, get into this net, start playing some defense, but it's a 51, but a great demo from Fear, going to allow that ball to be cleared out by Michael. 2 seconds left on the clock, and Michael just goes for the stall and the win.
Wow, what a start. I mean, what a start. That's just our first semifinal, the first game of the night, and already these teams are duking it out. 9 goals Feels like it's up there near the top of what we've seen on stream so far in our matches. And man, both of these teams very composed and ready to strike. That's very clear. Tons of shots. In the end, Double Trouble just able to hang on, but man, was it close. This team we talked about, that, you know, the super team, I think it's fair to say that they're trying to form that super team out there. Have they done it? That still has yet to be answered. Maybe a little closer there than they thought, but you got to love that even in this best of 3 right now, both of these teams are ready to take it.
Yeah, I like the aggression, kind of, you know, the offensive approach, always more exciting to watch in twos. And, you know, without that extra player, you kind of have to be on offense to essentially, you know, keep yourself available for defense. If you're just kind of set back, you'll eventually be worn down and out-rotated. So nice play by both teams. But I think, yeah, like you mentioned, despite them being the leaders on that leaderboard, the competition is out to get them. That only puts the target on their back a little bit more, if anything. And yeah, definitely a high-scoring game. What I'm going to be looking for in game number 2 here is if it was kind of just R&D for Michael and Fear the Nub in that first matchup, if they have gathered some information to where they can really step on the gas here in game number 2, or if it is Frequent Dr. Miles really putting up a great fight, but Michael right off the rip going to be finding the net, and Double Trouble is up early here in match 2.
Making sure to answer some of those questions right out the gate, just 6 seconds in. Michael, there's no 50s there, but he was ready for them if so, and he's just really just hard challenges to the ball, making sure that he's right there, making the defense work. And that's what you got to expect coming out of this Double Trouble team moving forward, is they're going to press the offense. We know that they love that. That's where they want to be. And if it's up to them, they're going to be down on the opponent's end the entirety of all of these series. They're looking for more right there as Michael tries to get a follow on the rebound, can't get a shot through. But yet again, the blue side pressing. They've already got 1 shot, 1 goal, looking for more.
Yeah, I think Michael just really kind of turning up the speed here in game number 2, but Aerospace was right there with some great defense, but eventually that defense going to crumble. It's a nice little pass from Fear over to Michael off that backboard, just catching their opponents off guard, pulling that defense into that corner, and Michael hitting that opposite side post. A great play from Double Trouble, up to a 2-0 lead here. They're going to be feeling pretty comfortable with a little lead. We'll have to see if Frequent Dr. Miles can battle their way back into this one. It's Michael with a nice pinch in that corner, going to clear that one all the way downfield, but thankfully Arrow has the touch to slow them down just a bit. Fear unable to win that 50, but it's a great rotation back on the defense from Michael, but the pass play from Arrow. Michael able to intercept, knocks this one back up, trying to throw the orange team off their game just a little bit, force them to have to rotate over, take away some of those passing angles that they were looking for. But Arrow's been doing a great job just intercepting some of these clears and long-range passes that Double Trouble has been going for. But it's a great pass from Fear over. A great little touch there. Almost lines it up to Michael.
Oh, I thought they were going to get it. Now we're back down the other way, but it's just wide as Aerospace has an opportunity. Man, what a passing play set up there from Double Trouble, even though they don't get the goal. Man, they're getting creative out there, and you can show that team, you can see that team chemistry is really starting to come together for the blue side. And unfortunately for Orange, they don't get a goal back down the other way when they had that open net. And we're going to play on still at this 2-0. But man, you got to love that look that we saw from blue right there. A lot of control coming from Double Trouble. Oh, they're going to get another.
Man, Michael just taking every little opportunity, every little mistake you make. Michael is there, ready to take full advantage. You know, a little bit of a misplay, just a little bit of a bump, miscommunication between the orange team, and Michael zooms right in with the steal, the pick, and the goal, which means Double Trouble is up by 3. And yeah, I think from that passing play that I think both me and you are still thinking about, I gotta say, Double Trouble probably very confident going into game number 2. Spear the Nub here, gonna back this one back into his side of the pitch. Look for a little bit of a clear off of this sidewall. Able to get this one centered up. Michael is now on the prowl. Able to knock this one up with that 50. Fear coming in with that aerial play, aerial pressure. Thankfully, Arrow is there for Frequent Dr. Miles to try to shut some of this amazing offense down. It's gonna be Michael taking it wall to wall here. Looks for a play. Fear the Nub is also up for that one. Double commit on that play means they realize they had some openings, so they'll rotate back onto defense, look to set something up at the midfield line. This one's going into the opposite side corner. Michael is up. It's a touch off the back wall. Fear almost gets that one on target, but it was a great defensive double commit from frequent Dr. Miles to slow that one down, which means Fear the Nub has to hustle back on defense. Limited amount of boost, but it's enough to slow down that shot and allow Michael to come through with that scoop, take that one away. Aerospace trying to hustle back. It's a double demo on either side. The ball just bouncing in front of the orange net. Fear the Nub going to be able to pick up some boost and start to scrap with Stairs in this corner. Ooh, and Stairs in a great position for that shot from Michael. But again, it's a 3-goal lead. Orange team has not been able to find anything just yet. Been making a great effort at it. A couple of good attempts. It's been even better defense from Nubble Trouble. Here's an opportunity, a little cutback from Arrow, but Michael able to drop down to get that save. Arrow tries to make another pass at it, but unfortunately that's going to leave Stairs or Hard, the lone man, back on defense. Thankfully he gets some boost, gets a touch, gets to slow down Nubble Trouble for just a moment. Michael, the pass over to Fear. Stairs tries to get that one over and in on the net, but Fear was there for it. Michael with the pass, and oh, it's just wide left. Arrow back with that touch. Gonna make Michael reposition there. Good little touch from Arrow, but it's still a 3-goal deficit for the orange team. 45 seconds left to play on the clock. It's blue team yet again on the offensive. Thankfully, Stairs trying to get it clear. It'll force Michael to send this one towards that midfield wall. Aerospace up for it, contesting against Michael yet again. The floater not going to find the net. Fear on the rotation, off the sidewall. We'll get this one taken away by Arrow, but it's still that 3-goal deficit with only 20 seconds left to play. Nubble Trouble just needing to stall this one out, keep frustrating their opponents, and they'll already be moving on to the grand finals. Another 50 with 0 boost in the tank, won by Michael. And just to put the cherry on top, there's another Michael goal with 5 seconds left in regulation.
Yeah, there it is. And I mean, time just ticking. Felt like we were all waiting for that moment for the orange side for them to be able to get something going. But unfortunately, nothing sustained. Nubble Trouble, the defense just too good. And the control just too good here in this second game of this best of 3 as they will sneak away, really just run away with this sweep right here. I mean, they made it look easy in game number 2 right there. We went from a close 1-goal contest, Frank, to an absolute just controlled, dominant effort to run away with this. And I mean, Nubble Trouble, they're looking really good. I was a little unsure coming out of game 1. Is this team the team? Is this the super team? I don't know. They're looking pretty dang good right now, and it was all really backed by that control that we saw the majority of that game, especially when they went up. That was tough for the orange side. I mean, they could do almost nothing, and really when you can play back on a lead, you can wait to play out, you're going to have good things happen, especially when I think they were the better team. They were definitely the ones with the better mechanics, and in the end, Nubble Trouble looking pretty good going into the grand finals. They made that look easy.
Yeah, very solid. Yeah, big difference in game number 2. I think they settled into their game plan a little bit more, like we saw with some of those passing plays and attempts that they were going for. Obviously, you got to be feeling confident to be going for plays like that, and then to have it even get that close is even better. But yeah, I think game number 2, just Michael with that early goal sets the tone for the whole match, and they just never relinquish control. But Glitter Explosion, I know you're here with me on the desk. Curious to see your thoughts on that first semifinal series.
You know, you guys were kind of talking about everything that I was watching while the whole thing was going down. In the first game, it was so close that I was like, okay, this is going to be a tight competition. What I think happened was, I feel like, well, first of all, Michael in the second game, he just ran away.
Kind of took over.
The whole game was just Michael in the second one. Completely shut everybody down as a solo, but I feel like both Michael and Fear the Nub figured out the opposing team's playstyle so quickly and pushed with their aggression that it just kind of overwhelmed the other team. I mean, phenomenal performance. Okay.
A great series. Yeah.
Right. They'll drop down into third, fourth, while Nubble Trouble goes into the finals. So that's going to be a really strong team already in the finals. Okay, but we're going to send it to a quick break while we get the next semifinals match set up, so don't go anywhere.
Don't let anyone tell you there are things we cannot change. We've done hard things before. We'll face hard things again, but we're doing it. Thousands of people will live simply because a whole bunch of people in here keep making medicine better. So if anyone ever tells you there's no other way, don't listen. We find a way. Mount Sinai.
Alright everyone, welcome back to the Adaptive Esports tournament. We just finished our first semifinals match of the day. Phenomenal performance, by the way, from Double Trouble, but now we have the second semifinals matchup coming up. We'll take a look at the bracket. Let's talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, I'm excited to get into this one too. Again, we've seen a lot of these players already on stream, but now they've got to choose their teammate, and we're kind of seeing what that synergy looks like. So the next semifinal is going to be Nerve Damage going up against Dotes. You'll see some familiar names once we get into that game, but I'm expecting it to be another exciting series just like our first semifinal was.
And of course, like we said before, but if you miss it, frequent Dr. Miles will drop down to that third, fourth playoff match, and then whoever loses in the second semifinals will also make their way down to compete for those prize pools, because there's still some cash on the line once we get to that point. But I'm excited to see what happens. The first match of the day started off super, super close. And like you said, we have some really recognizable folk on this next, the top squad. I'm excited.
Both squads, really.
I'm excited to see how they do.
Yeah. Nerve Damage versus Dotes. I believe Nerve Damage is going to be Pop Clutch and Handicapped, both of who we've seen. And then I'm not sure if we've seen one member on Dotes, but we have seen Solitude.
Yes.
So both of these squads I'm expecting a lot from. It'll probably be close again, but we'll have to see. I think maybe early on I might give the edge to Pop Clutch and Handicap just because I've seen both of them play, and I think they'll end up working well together. But yeah, I'm excited to get into this one.
You never know, okay? It can always, right now it's still
I'm usually wrong.
That's also true. So we'll have to see if maybe that changes this time around, because Samail's ready. So let's do it.
All right. And Samail, I've learned my lesson. I know you are excited, but any thoughts on this matchup before we get into it?
Well, you were saying you're always wrong. I'm wondering why do I let you talk so much then if you're just so wrong? I've been giving you too much of the floor, so we're gonna change that going into this match right here.
Perfect.
But yes, of course I'm ready. Of course, this second semifinal is gonna be even as good as the first, I think. And this third qualifier really shaping up, if I'm being honest with you, Frank, because I gotta be frank, this has been the best one so far.
Yeah, oh, absolutely, and I'll be frank as well, and we can be frank together, but right now, Handicap off the top ceiling tries to make a play here, but Pop Clutch will be racing, hustling towards this one. A good little clear, gonna force Nerve Damage back onto defense, and good touch by Handicap. Gonna steer that one away from threatening territory. Little clear gonna be coming through here. Disbel up, ooh, off the top crossbar, does not connect. Teammate couldn't wrap around in time for Dotes. It's a heartbreaker there for the squad. Handicapped, however, going to make a little pass play over to Pop Clutch, trying to get something going here in that orange corner. It's going to be Disbel up high with a nice aerial play, trying to drop this one down for Solitude, but playing this one patient, trying to read that defense. A little bit of a 50-50 action, but it's going to be Disbel picking up the scraps here. Off the post, tries to get the alley-oop to himself, but the defense is in the way to deny that one. Another play, though, another clear going to be going off that backboard. Up now with it, Dotes, can they float this over the defender? And Dismal, it's high and in to strike first against Nerve Damage.
Dismal had a really good chance a moment ago. Doesn't get it on the flick, but doesn't make a mistake this time. Up and over, comes from the sky down. Gets that goal, and the early pressure going all to Dotes. They've got 3 shots already, no shots on the side of Nerve Damage. And even though these are some players we've seen on the side of Nerve Damage so far, maybe some expectations coming through, it has been all orange so far. Nice fake there from Dismal. Yet again, amazing control. Now he's in a one-on-one. Can he get it through? No, cannot beat handicap Flareness, but still all kinds of pressure coming from the orange side as the shots mount up. That's another, and they're looking for more.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of an interesting point that we haven't brought up yet. Our first time kind of seeing Dismal on stream here is, yeah, maybe some of these players just waited until they could pair up with their teammate. And, you know, Dismal and Solitude kind of taking control of this match here as we hit that 3-minute mark. Nerve Damage has been able to get a couple clears, but not really been able to maintain those possessions to really get the offense going. Dismal looking for a little 2-tap off that backboard. Solitude trying to set this one up center net. No wraparound going to occur, but they will secure that boost to try to keep some of this offense going. Dismal tries to get that pinch down. Solitude, thankfully, makes his way back with that read for that clear to keep the offense going. Another setup cross net, but Dismal doesn't like it. Gonna wait, play this one patient. Anticipating the long clear is Solitude back yet again to reset this offense for Dotes. It's up off the backboard. Solitude with that wrap, but it's gonna stay wide left. No goal found just yet, so the 1-goal lead by Dotes will be maintained. Here comes the blue team, however, trying to get something going in this corner, but Dismal wins a great 50 to stop that one in its tracks, and it's up and over the last defender. Dismal gonna connect again with the goal.
And Dismal, this is just that patience that I'm seeing from him in this game. He is just waiting, picking his spots, and then as soon as he finds them, he is off to the races. They're up and over the final defender. Makes it look easy with that carry, and really Dismal right now, his reads just so good, using the field to his advantage, the open space, and just waiting methodically until he can strike. He does so there, gets the 2nd goal of this game for his team. Looking for more now as he passes it out center. There is Solitude to finish it off. 3-0 Dotes.
Love it. Dismal getting the team involved. Little pass play over to Solitude, and it connects. Just undefendable at that point. I mean, who wouldn't expect Dismal to take that himself, but utilizes kind of the setup from the first 2 goals to open the floor for his teammate. And now Dotes is right back on offense from the kickoff, floating this one over. Gonna go just a touch high, but it was a great carry from Dismal on that attempt. It's a slight opportunity for Nerve Damage, but that Dotes hustle be able to clear that one, and that one's gonna be sent center yet again. The hat trick for Dismal is secured.
Man, Dismal making it dismal on the defense of Nerve Damage right now. They have no answer to what he's doing. I mean, he's just everywhere, and I have really been impressed with the control. There was a flip reset just a moment ago. I know it went over top of the net, but honestly, that sort of control, you got to really be aware of that if your opponent can pull off that kind of shot. And obviously, Dismal showing that he can do just that, even though he doesn't get a goal. See the control right now. The flick as well. It's not on, but it doesn't really matter. The rebound there. Dismal doing it all. 5-0, making sure that this game is over.
Yeah, this one's looking done and dusted. Nerve Damage gonna need something crazy here if they're looking to get back into this game, but you know, I have to think they're just gonna try to refocus for that game number 2 in the best of 3, try to close it out with the later half of the series, because Dismal and Solitude both taking over game number 1 of this 2nd semifinal. There's been some nice clears and some nice setup from Nerve Damage, but it's really been Dismal being able to shut those down and recognize the state of the game, like one of those early 50-50s he won, recognized that the floor was his and the net was open, so he takes it all the way. And like you had mentioned, with some of the mechanical plays like the flip resets he was going for, it's really making it tough for the defense as he's able to do a little finger roll action to make it 6-0 now in game number 1.
Yeah, he's one of those players in a lobby in twos that just immediately stands out because he's got that patience to wait things out, but then also just picks it up and puts on the afterburner at times and completely just throwing off the defense right now. It really has been all Dismal. 5 goals, 10 shots. What a score line here to lead his team 6-0. And I do believe this is the first time we've seen Dismal on stream, but it won't be the last.
The 7-0 now, Samael. Yeah, won't be the last time we see Dismal, but I mean, that's got to be pretty rare. The 7-0 victory, shutting it down before regulation. Dote's looking very strong, and I'm going to be honest. I talked about how I was wrong earlier. I'm expecting some leaderboard shakeups after today, and I think I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, this is that moment right now. Obviously, going to the 4th qualifier, everybody's trying to rack up points. You don't want to wait to the last chance qualifier. You want to get it done right here in these final 2. And if you waited until the 4th, you probably waited too long. So, of course, we're going to see some shakeup, like you said, in the standings. And now, coming, I think, out of this 3rd qualifier, we're going to get a real good idea of which players are going to be the ones to really have a good chance of just winning it all. But, of course, there's a lot more Rocket League to play until then. But I love that we just keep seeing these players step up. Different players every single week making a name for themselves and making us focus on them. I had my camera on Dismal the entirety of that match as I'm watching him, and why not? Because he has absolutely carried the show.
Yeah, I think we've been surprised every single week at this point with new things these players are showing us, and the 7-0 victory here in that semifinal is definitely one of them. I'm curious to see if Dismal can kind of keep up that momentum. I think he has it in him, but what are the adjustments that are going to come through from Nerve Damage? We know that they are tried and true as players themselves, but new to duoing up together. I just don't think they accounted for Dismal entering the tournament here today, but it's going to be Pop Clutch trying to get the offense started now for Nerve Damage. Takes a little pit stop to get some of that boost, but Dotes is going to utilize that to clear this one all the way downfield, and the little tippy tap past the defender means Dotes is on the board yet again.
And a lot of time there for the player of the match. It is Dismal, the last player that you would want if you're Nerve Damage, getting an open opportunity with that ball, but able to get time and space, which means he can pick his spots, and he gets it past that final defender there, starting off right where they left off in that 7-0 win. They've got another 8 straight goals here for the Dote team, looking like that team maybe going to go into the grand finals, but this is that final chance right now. You got to see something if you're the blue side. If you're Nerve Damage, got to make some big plays. Unfortunately, they're not going to happen.
Yeah, Dismal sees something, and that's an open net as he speeds towards that ball centered up. Manages to fire that one past Nerve Damage, and I think that's what Dismal's strongest suit is right now in this series, is him playing with absolutely zero hesitation, because what was a good play from Nerve Damage early on, as soon as that play slowed down, Dismal is there taking that ball away and carrying it all the way to the opposite side of the pitch, and more often than not scoring a goal, as it's a hat trick for Dotes with not even a minute played yet, Samael.
Yeah, and that's probably the best goal that we've seen out of any of the qualifiers, going up off the ceiling, getting the reset, and then a final touch as well, just to make sure it goes in. I don't think anybody on this field right now can stop Dismal other than Dismal himself. So unless the controller just falls apart, this is looking really good for Dotes. And I'm surprised I'm saying that. You said it just a minute in, but man, they look like they're trending towards a double 7-0. We've seen 14 goals in 2 games, and we have not seen just the domination that would be 2 shutouts. I'm telling you, I feel like we're closer to that than we are Nerve Damage getting back in this.
I mean, and a double-double is appropriate because Dotes is in and out here in the semifinal, speed running it. 2 grand finals to go up against Nubble Trouble. We'll see if they can close it out here, or if Nerve Damage can find their footing, but it's Solitude now getting in on the action to make it 5-0.
And it's another flip reset. It's a late reset, but it's everything that's needed there for Dotes as it's past the final defender. Yet again, these flip resets just absolutely dastardly. And I mean, I don't care who you're on defense. If your opponent can bust out the flip reset like Dismal's doing right now off the ceiling, it's going to be tough no matter who you are. We're at 5-0. And even if they could forfeit, they're not allowed to yet because we're not even a minute and a half in. I don't know. They're about to be exiting this game, though, at another 7-0, the way things are trending.
They're going for not only the win in the semifinals, but also the speed run record here in AET, as Disbel is up off the backboard yet again. Throws it to himself off the sidewall, centers this one up for his teammate, and it's Solitude with the goal.
Man, and obviously at this point, it may be too little too late, but if you're nerve damaged, you got to stop this guy. I don't know that you can, but doing everything. 4 goals, gets an assist there as well. The only thing that we haven't seen from Dotes is a big save. No saves on the board, and that's because nerve damage have been hemmed up in their own and the entirety of it. And this may be it. There it is. 7-0, back-to-back, 14-0. That is it.
I was going to make a point there, Samael, but I think at this point in time, it's not even relevant. It is all Dotes with back-to-back 7-0 victories to move on to the grand final, and nothing short of impressive. I think this is just one of those scenarios where Disbel kind of sat it out, right? He's like, well, I'm just going to wait to play with my duo. I'm not going to mess around with the random pairings, and he kind of surprised people. And to me, that's what it felt like, because we mentioned how we had already seen Handicapped and Pop Clutch play before, but what we've seen Handicapped and Pop Clutch haven't seen, and that's Disbel. And I think we were all surprised by what he was bringing out there on the pitch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it's a bold choice, waiting 2 qualifiers. There's only 4 to build up these points, so that's bold. But at the same time, when you're playing like that, that's a pretty safe bet, I think, as they're going now into the grand finals. And it's really shaping up. We're in qualifier 3. We've seen 2 qualifiers with random teams. We're starting to pick our favorites. And then out of nowhere comes someone we haven't even seen before who's now going to challenge what we thought was the super team, but now I'm feeling a little uncertain about that.
I told you at the top of the show, I'm wrong more often than not. So I'm going to get Glitter Explosion's thoughts here because she's about to start cracking up at me being wrong. But yeah, I said, hey, number 1 and number 1, the super team, here they are. And then Disbel's like, let me make you look stupid real quick.
I feel like you planned it. I feel like you planned it this way. You knew that's how it was going to turn out, and that's why you said, oh, this is who's going to win. But typically I'm wrong, because then you were kind of right by knowing you were going to be wrong.
See, but here's
it's like a master plan.
Here's the next layer. I'm also not smart enough to do something like that or have the forethought. So not only am I wrong, I'm also dumb. So that's out of my wheelhouse. I'll say that right now. But I'm excited to see the grand final. That's what I do know.
The finals are going to be insane, okay, because I think that we've got some really high level of competition. But also don't forget that everyone that gets to the semifinals every time and then does well in the third, fourth match, they're still getting points. That's what our leaderboard is. And as long as they get enough points to qualify through to the finals, that'll be later on, in January, then they'll still be good.
Yeah.
So now they have a little bit of a sneak peek at arguably some of the top competition. Go back to a little bit of a reset. We've got one more qualifier coming through, plus the LCQ.
Yep.
And I think that going forward, we'll probably see some changes being made as far as play styles and possibly kind of stopping some of that dominant performance that we saw.
Yeah, I think, it is kind of like what you alluded to, that Disbel's essentially like a trick play, like a surprise reveal.
Exactly.
He's like the end of the Marvel credits, right? and Disbel shows up and you're like, oh, I can't wait for the next movie. So yeah, that's a little bit of what we're getting right now. And yeah, I think it's going to make for not only an exciting grand finals here today, but an exciting rest of the season.
Exactly. I could not have said it better, but while we get those very exciting grand finals set up, we're going to send it to another short break, but do not go anywhere because I have a feeling you don't want to miss this. everybody, welcome back to the Adaptive Esports tournament featuring Rocket League. We are moments away from the grand finals of our third qualifier here today, and after the performances that we have seen so far, I anticipate that this finals is going to be really good.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting one for sure because we have like an unknown and also an X factor, right, in Disbel. With that performance that we saw in the previous semifinal, I don't think any of us would have expected back-to-back 0-7 wins, you know, like in the speed that they did that in.
Yeah.
And they're going up against our number one tied at the very tippy top of the leaderboard. So don't know which way this one's going to go, but I do know it's going to be exciting.
I am super stoked for it. But before we get into it, now chat, we talked about this before. There was an opportunity for you to win a really cool Logitech G bundle. Well, here is another opportunity for you to do so. You can type !AET in chat to get yourself entered and your opportunity to get a nice little bundle of swag right before the holidays. And you might end up with a little Christmas present just for hanging out here with us. That's not too shabby.
Nah, you can't beat that. I mean, it's not as good as like the prize pool, but I'd be happy with that.
That's why the players get the prize pool.
Yeah, the skill.
You know?
Yeah, I
the
mean,
people
I don't
that
know.
are actually good at the
right,
game.
I'm not good. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You don't have to remind me.
Anyways, we're gonna look at the bracket now, okay? Because this is what we're talking about. This is the grand finals. It's going to be Nubble Trouble versus Dotes. I truly don't know how it's going to end up turning out.
No, it's going to be close. It comes down to a lot of things. I think Nubble Trouble needs to be able to shut down Disbel because he can take over the game by himself. I think then Dotes really just needs to allow things to open up for Disbel. I also kind of want to say, you know, we saw both 2-0 sweeps in both of the semifinals, but I think I expected a little bit more of a dominant performance from Nubble Trouble, especially in that game number one.
Sure.
I think they were caught off guard a little bit and kind of competed with a little bit, so I'll be interesting to see if they were able to step things up in the grand final, if that shook them up a little bit. I know those are two of our best players in the league, but just kind of curious to see how that whole chemistry kind of goes.
Yep, or how quickly they adapt, and I am excited to get into it. So once again, final time for today. Take it away.
Yeah, Samael, I know you're excited for this one. I'm excited for this one. It's kind of an interesting clash here. We saw some plays out of Solitude, but it was really kind of the Disbel show with what we were impressed with. But, you know, you have Nubble Trouble kind of, you know, just solid competitors. They have the experience under their belt. So does the experience come into play versus the hotshot, you know, newcomer in Disbel?
Yeah, I mean, you honestly said the storyline. It feels like we couldn't have written a better storyline here in Qualifier 3 in this grand final. So honestly, I'm going to let the gameplay answer that question, Frank, because that's really what it's all about. I can speculate all day, but we've got really, again, the two best teams in this qualifier, like we've seen in the previous two, battling it out here in the grand finals, and it's different players again. You got to love it.
Yeah, week after week, the competition keeps getting better, and it's Disbel looking to find something here, but Nubble Trouble definitely making it difficult for him, getting a little bit aggressive, a little bit physical, trying to throw him off his game somewhat, but ooh, a great 51 by Nubble Trouble, and Michael has the follow-up from Fear the Nub to get on the board first.
And you can see what their game plan was out the gate, and that is all offense. They said, we're not turning around, we're not going back out of the zone, we're just pushing off this kickoff. They got 3 shots in the first 30 seconds and a big 50 win off nothing but pressure there. They saw the control from Dotes, and they want to make sure they don't give them time and space. It's a really, really good game plan coming to this grand finals, coming to this best of 5, and the first strike going to Nubble Trouble, which again just makes us look good with that storyline.
Yeah, and I like, you know, Nubble Trouble kind of fighting fire with fire, sending things right at Disbel, not letting him feel comfortable, and I think that's the right approach here. Now Nubble Trouble just needs to keep their offense going a bit and make sure they're rotating, because we saw how fast Disbel can be on those breakaways, utilizing those split-second decisions to get ahead. It's a shot on net, and it's Solitude getting on the board first for Dotes to tie us up at 1.
Solitude, anytime in 2s you can get into play, you're doing a good job. And of course, Solitude, we've been waiting to call his name out. He's been that solid player that player that just fills the gaps here for Dotes, but right there, that star player stepping up and recognizing a play can be made, winning that 50 right out front. Good pressure coming from Disbel. We know the control that he's got, and he sets up Solitude there. This is bound to be a shootout here as Michael's looking for one more. Can't get it, but feared it up there. Oh, big save coming from Disbel, then back down the other way. Solitude gonna keep it going. Back and forth we go. The chances stack up.
Yeah, great little read from Solitude there to keep that play alive. Really evenly matched, but it's going to be Disbel wrapping around that net to find the pass from Solitude. A great little play here. You see Fear the Nub doesn't really expect the play until it's too late. He sees Disbel realizing he has that angle, can't cut back or get in the air in time for the save. So Dote's going to be taking the lead now. How does Nubble Trouble respond? Off this kickoff, it is up and away, and it is Disbel up and with it, hitting the resets. Disbel going to extend the lead by 2.
This is just ridiculous. This control, you got to be able to contest it, but no one's expecting this. No one's been able to do this at all in any of the tournaments that we've seen so far. This is the best mechanics by far we've seen out of any player coming out of Disbel right now, and he's proven that he can hit that flip reset, so somebody's got to get up and they got to stop that. They got to stop it early. Nubble Trouble saw it if they were watching that previous semifinal as they were waiting to see who was going to meet them, and right now it's Disbel. If there was any question, it's Disbel, and he's doing exactly the same thing he did in that semifinal here in the Grand.
Yeah, Disbel starting to run away with this one, just finding those openings, kind of playing it patient, seeing where the angles are, and now with another carry coast to coast, forcing Michael to get up for the save. Fear the Nub is going to be bumped away, so the play for Dotes will stay alive. Here's Fear trying to get the good clear, but it's a great 50 to slow down the Nubble Trouble offense. Michael trying to go up now, trying to cut back towards the midfield line. This one's sent high by Solitude. Fear is there for the save. Disbel tries the follow-up on the rebound. Fear the Nub will have possession, but only for a moment. This one's going to be knocked away by Dotes, and the play will be reset. Disbel now forced up into a 50-50 situation on net. It's a wraparound from Michael, but it's Solitude with a save.
Oh my word, both teams playing their heart outs right now. This is just absurd the way both teams are making plays, and both defenses are up to the task, keeping this at a 3-1 game here for Dotes. This has been unbelievable. I'm really loving Michael still just being that player who's waiting for his spots, winning those 50s, and doing a lot here for Nubble Trouble. Even though they're down, you can feel the pressure as Dotes are trying to just hang on to this 2-goal lead.
Yeah, Nubble Trouble just trying to stick to that game plan. That's kind of, Michael's MO at this point. They're going to come in with that plan and adjust when need be. I think right now the plan is kind of working. They're getting some of those offensive looks. It's just Solitude making some amazing saves on net right now. Another attempt going to be floated across, but it's Solitude on that rotation, trying to get the clear, but Michael has possession. Thankfully, Dotes has the savior in Disbel to stop that shot attempt. Now he's up off the ceiling, trying to keep this one away from Nubble Trouble, not let them settle in. But I like that out of Michael, gonna get physical, but it's Disbel, regardless of being on the respawn timer, manages to send that one on net and connect with the goal.
Yeah, he gets removed from the play, but it doesn't matter because he's done his work, and he's put that ball up and over, extending the lead here for Dotes. 4-1, and we're late right now. This is a tough spot for Nubble Trouble to be in, and they were piling up the shots. They've got 6, but unfortunately just the goal to show for it as Dotes have locked in as a team, locked in on defense. They're holding on to the lead. They're extending it, and they're doing a really good job of keeping these balls into the safe areas of the field. Back and forth we go into the corners as the clock ticks away.
Yeah, Dotes just has to make sure they don't overcommit or overextend to allow Nubble Trouble back into this one. Little bit of a floater there from Disbel. The back cut with the insurance policy. Disbel making a statement in his debut AET performance.
Yeah, and that looks goofy, right? If you're just tuned in, you're like, what am I watching? Well, Disbel just hit like 7 flip resets every single time he had a chance for it. So, of course, the one time he doesn't hit it, you got to respect it as a defense. If you're not up early, if you're not challenging that ball, you got to wait back and see if you can save it. I mean, that's what we saw right now. He's going off the ceiling. He's looking for it yet again. I mean, I haven't taken my camera off of this guy, it feels like, all game, and for good reason. The one good thing I guess you can say is they did give up a goal, so they didn't get that back-to-back-to-back shutout, which is what they were looking at, which was pretty impressive, but Double Trouble still, I think, unfortunately for them, they may be the ones in trouble here entering into Game 2 of this best-of-5.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to make some adjustments, but like we kind of mentioned in that previous semifinal, it is that X factor, that unknown factor that Disbel is bringing to the table right now. So hopefully now that they've seen the flip resets, some of the aerials, they know what Disbel is capable of. Now the question is, can they adjust? Do they have what it takes to shut down some of those plays? Because like we saw in that first match, it's Disbel able to just really take over plays when he needs to.
Yeah, well, Frank, I've watched RLCS. I've seen flip resets before too, but it doesn't help me really stop them when I'm out there battling in ranks. So at least you're right. They know what is capable, I guess, from their opponent. And I honestly, the only thing I can say is when you're on defense, you've got to get up earlier. You've got to make sure you take that play away because you can't expect that a mistake will be made. That play is going to be made more often than not coming from Disbel. So you got to take it away early if you're the Double Trouble defense. You got to play aggressive on defense and look to strike back because we know this team can score goals.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. They need at least, whether or not the reactions are there or if they can shut it down, they can at least start to anticipate it now going into this second game of our grand finals best of 5. To see how this one plays out. Of course, on board with Disbel to start. Solitude trying to get something going. Disbel just going to send this one right past the defender. Quick and easy, nice and light for Disbel here in game number 2.
And you can see there, Fear the Nub just a little too forward with that forward flip. But honestly, Disbel, he is continually reading the play. We've talked about his mechanics, but we really haven't talked about the mental side of the ball. And honestly, he's doing that really, really well too. So he's a player that is a complete player, one of those players you look for if you're going to make a team. And Solitude knew what he was doing when he was bringing this guy out here. I don't know where they were keeping Disbel, but right now he has certainly been that player, just that mystery player to step in and make everybody wonder, is it the players you thought were going to win this? Because maybe other things are going to happen like that. Are you serious? Are you serious?
Disbel making my jaw hit the floor with this play. The aerial carry right over Fear the Nub, dunking it in his face to go up 2-0. Dotes here making a statement, and what a front office move from Solitude, just being like, hey, Disbel, chill. I'm gonna hit you back up in 2 weeks. Get your application in, but I'm gonna call you up later when it counts. So I love that from Solitude. I want to find out if that was the plan or if he just happened to get lucky. We'll have to ask him about that later on. But right now, it is the Disbel show in game number 2 with the 2-goal lead for Dotes. Another tap. That boost is stolen away, so Disbel going to be slowed down just a hair. This one's set up on the midfield line. Fear the Nub has the touch. But it's Dotes with the response. Michael trying to circle back, send this one to the corner, but the boost is going to be stolen away. That means Disbel is about to be punching his clock in, putting in that work. Thankfully, Double Trouble manages to get a nice juicy clear. A touch is up. It's going to be a 50, slightly won by the blue side, but not going to be able to produce much off of that play as it's going to die, be reset in this corner. Fear now trying to get the pass over to Michael, but it's an incredible read from Disbel, and he's all the way on the other side of the pitch. The hat trick is secured for Dotes right underneath the 3-minute mark.
Yeah, and it's a big steal coming out of their end. We see Disbel yet again gets the hat trick as he takes that pass away, reading it just at the last moment. It was a good pass. It was a good play set up from Double Trouble, but just a little too slow, a little too telegraphed. And there was Disbel to take it away and immediately turn it into a goal, which is all to the reality here all too often the reality in twos, where if you miss on a play downfield and you have put everybody in, well, you're gonna get scored on, and that's what we're seeing. I mean, Dotes, they're just perfectly playing. This is calculated gameplay from them, led again here by Disbel. And I think if you're Double Trouble, you got to find a solution to that one player right now. Try to beat Disbel down the field. He's everywhere, but if you can get an odd man break, maybe you can get some goals on the board.
Yeah, it's almost that like Rocket League 2's paradox where in order to get back in this game, you need to be more aggressive. But by being more aggressive, that opens you up to get scored on more. So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation for Double Trouble right now. They really just need to, like you mentioned, focus up, try to shut down Disbel when possible. But I think anticipating some of these rapid transitions that he's able to pull off, like we're kind of witnessing right now, is going to be fruitful for them in at least slowing down Dotes for the time being. So here's a clear over to Michael. The touch tries to pass it back to Fear, but unfortunately that touch is going to go just a little bit wide. So Disbel has possession. The demo comes through onto Fear the Nub, but he should be back on the pitch by the time this play gets aggressive yet again. There's Disbel with the touch. It's off the sidewall, but the post is going to be in the way of that one finding the net. Disbel forced to rotate back. Be able to pounce that one in. A great save from Disbel, able to drop down on that one and even wins the 50. Does he have the boost left in the tank to make a play here? Thankfully, Fear the Nub is able to rotate back on defense, but Solitude is there to pick up that slack. Fighting now in the corner. He's going to send this one across the wall, and Disbel thankfully able to get back for that save. Now can he convert this into a goal? The play is up. He drops it under Fear, but thankfully Michael is there to get that touch and deny that shot attempt. Almost just a minute left to play here in game number 2, and it's looking like it's all Dotes with the 4, making a 4-1 lead. But thankfully, able to get on the board here in game number 2. We'll have to see if Double Trouble can get some of that momentum going.
Yeah, and that's the moment right here, because there was the slight bit of miscommunication there coming from Disbel and Solitude, as it was a good play, a demo coming back, it was open, but Solitude maybe deferring one too many times here to Disbel, as he has, of course, been the MVP. Solitude filling in everywhere he can, but right there, it leaves their net wide open and gives a chance here for Double Trouble, but they need more. Can they get it off? Oh, Fear the Nub off the backboard. Can't find the shot, as it is just wide on the double, as they can't get this to within 2. Time running down. Disbel yet again with a flick over top. Doesn't need a goal, just needs to keep possession, and he will do just that as he slows it down. Such a smart player, and that's going to be a goal.
Yeah, nice little setup there. Of course, we could almost see that one coming. You saw it, Disbel just setting up his teammate with that play, being able to break out that defense, bump Fear out of the way, and it's a clear net for Dotes. But really liking what I'm seeing. I think, Double Trouble, though, like we take that last heartbreak away where they got 3 touches right underneath the net but couldn't find the goal, and then that miracle save that we saw out of Solitude. And this one feels like a much different game too, but unfortunately things just not going Double Trouble's way, as Dotes is proving enough trouble for them to handle by itself. That one gonna be just shy from the goal off of that post. Michael will get the save. 5 seconds left on the clock here in game number 2. And that one is gonna be another Dotes victory, as they are on grand finals point now, Samantha.
Man, they're making it look easy out here as well. Another game where they only give up 1 goal again. So we're talking about their semifinals and this grand finals. 4 games played, just 2 goals again. So that is ridiculous. What's that, half a goal a game? I mean, yeah, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know you're going to win those games. They've just been everywhere. And you think, is that a defensive effort that's stifling? No, it's really been their offense that has been carrying them throughout the entire way. Right there, Disbel alone gets 9 shots, and then Solitude another 3. 12 shots on the board, 5 goals. It's just a dominant offensive effort, and it all comes down to first touches, especially uncontested touches. We're just seeing that extra bit of control come out of Dotes, especially Disbel, and that's something you got to look out for. If Double Trouble can't pick it up and get better first touches, this series is going to be over.
Yeah, they need to make the adjustments now. It's all on the line here going into game number 3. I think what's scariest about that game number 2, however, though, is Dismal getting Solitude involved. That essentially just means that if, Fear the Nub and Michael start to focus Dismal, hey, his teammates waiting in the wings wide open for a pass. So we'll have to see if Double Trouble does make that adjustment, really tries to focus on shutting down Dismal, but like we kind of got hints at in that game number 2, Solitude is totally capable. This is not the Dismal show as much as it looks like, as much as we're talking about him, because again, he is that new face. He is coming up with some amazing plays, some really flashy mechanics, but Solitude is right there putting in that work as a teammate. So that's what makes this especially scary for Double Trouble right now. But about 15 seconds into our game 3, the grand finals, best of 5, and no one has been able to find the net just yet. It's a demo, though, coming through onto Solitude. That shot, however, not going to connect, so that means Dismal has an opportunity. And if Dismal has an opportunity, Dotes has a goal as they get on the board first.
Yeah, that's pretty much been the case here. What a play. Takes it right, flicks it left, putting Fear the Nub off of his axles, and right there just breaks them off as the dribbles coming through from Dismal. The Dismal dribbles dizzying the defense there. I almost got it, and honestly the defense almost got it, but it doesn't much matter because Dotes and Dismal, they are just unbelievable. There you go. All right.
Here we go.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about that. I'm gonna root a little bit for Double Trouble right now. I want to see them get back on this, and that's the way.
Yeah, a great kind of play by Michael, and I think maybe that's just kind of what they need to do. Stop overthinking it so much. We saw those strategic efforts in game 1, in game 2, but I mean, maybe just turn the brain off a little bit, start getting aggressive, start sending some shots on net, make Dotes respect the offense a little bit, try to slow them down, because when they have that momentum and speed on their side, they're nigh impossible to shut down. And here's Michael taking things over, catching his opponents off guard. It's exactly what Double Trouble needed.
Yeah, and downfield on transition is Fear the Nub, putting it up over the net, put it over the net, on the net, just make sure it's in the area, force Dotes to make plays, because Dotes have had so much control in this series. They really haven't had to make a ton of big plays to keep the ball out of their net, and that's what you can do. You can catch the defense kind of napping, especially when they're in full offense mode, and that's what we're seeing right now. Michael stepping it up, gets 3 goals out of nowhere right now, winning a big 50, and then takes it right away from the MVP.
Yeah, Dotes just rapidly flipping through their dictionary right now, trying to find the entry for defense. They're coming up short so far, but they definitely need to put their finger on that page if they want to work their way back into this one, because Michael has been picking them apart. But Dismal says, if you're picking us apart, I'm going to turn you into pieces, and there's Solitude with a goal.
Big demo as well, and then immediately off the demo into the air, gets what looks like going to be a double. And again, you got to respect that look coming from Dismal. And here's Solitude. You talked about it, Frank. You talked about actually what Solitude's been doing, and it is so difficult to step in with a player as creative as Dismal is and make sure that you are filling in the gaps, because there's nobody else. It's Dismal and then it's Solitude, nobody else. So Solitude has to constantly be making sure he's right there with Dismal. And I mean, it's easier said than done when you have a player who's ready to just make plays. Sometimes he cuts rotation, and usually it works out in their favor. But here's Solitude. He is just that solid dude.
Yeah, Solitude, the solid dude for Dotes, but I got to give it up for Fear the Nub on that play. Like we said, got to get up early, try to shut down those flip resets. He manages to do that on that previous attempt from Dismal, but Dismal trying to get aggressive yet again. Managed to pick up the sidewall boost. It's off the ceiling, dropping down, but Fear the Nub is slipping in underneath for the intercept. Solitude now forced to attempt a clear. Fear trying to set up Michael on that midfield line with that passing play, but unable to find a good angle. Doesn't want to overcommit and give Dotes the tying goal, but Dismal might just take it himself. The crossover on Double Trouble leads to your tying goal.
Oh, the cut so deep it hurts right there, as Dismal just takes it away. These unbelievable dribbles. We've seen the flip resets off the ceiling. I didn't know he could play on the ground, too. This doesn't seem quite fair, as Dote's mounting a comeback right now. And who else? It's Dismal, who gets his second goal, a second highlight reel effort on the ground, making the axles of the opponent team really work. And there it is. There's another going to be coming off the back wall open. Dismal gets a third.
What's funny to me about what we've seen out of Dismal here today is he didn't like warm us up and be like, oh, here's my ground play, here's my shot. He started at the tippy top with, ceiling flip resets, and then he's reassuring us that the fundamentals are also there as well with some of those ground plays. So exciting to see out of Dismal. Not exciting to see if you're Double Trouble, because your lead has disappeared. You're at a deficit now, and it is do or die time here in the grand finals. Double Trouble need this one to start to battle back in our grand finals best of 5, but do they have what it takes? Do they have the gas left in the tank? It's Dismal yet again up off this sidewall, setting up Solitude. Solitude saying, Dismal, you had that one. You should have just taken that shot. A little bit late to that play, but it's all right. Dismal still has the touch. It's a high pop-up right in front of the blue side net, and Dismal respectfully going to back up on this one, reset the play, make sure the defense is covered. It's over one defender now. He's got the aerial up, and it's a reset against Fear the Nub. Solitude has the cutback, and Dotes have the goal.
This is just ridiculous right now as the defense, no answers. Again, it's the reset. Oh, you said that ground game. Nope, we're back in the air. Sorry. Dismal, he's got it all right now. And earlier, he's looking past. He's trying to be that team player. He's trying to set up Solitude as well. He really can do it all. And I've just not seen any player probably make any sort of plays that we've seen consistently out of Dismal in this tournament so far. So this has been that bar set in qualifier number 3. And it feels like each qualifier, that bar is getting higher and higher as Dote's looking to just take this one right now. It's Solitude looking for another. He gets it. It is 6-3 Solitude, 6-3 Dotes, as they are running away here in the grand finals.
One goal away now from sealing the deal on Double Trouble and walking away with the lion's share of the $3,000 prize pool. Here's what is potentially your final kickoff. Can Double Trouble start to work their way back into this one? They've only got a minute left to do it. It looks like Dismal is looking to close this one out. The aerial's over one. It's off the post, but Solitude is there. It's spinning in front of the net. Michael thankfully gets the clear to hold on for dear life for just a bit longer, but Dismal is back yet again in the corner, picks up the boost and has possession of the ball. That one's over Michael. Michael has to hustle back. The Fear the Nub is thankfully coming through to win that 50-50. Now all we have is 30 seconds left to play. It's either going to be a goal or it's going to be regulation. The Dotes taking this one unless Double Trouble can start to battle back. But again, their backs are up against the clock. Here comes Dismal yet again from midfield. Up in the air, no boost in the tank. Takes a quick little detour to pick up that corner boost, and Solitude is coming through to keep the play alive. 6 seconds remaining, and if this one hits the ground, it'll be Dotes with the victory. But you know what? 2 seconds left on the clock. Dotes says, let's run it back to that semifinal. We'll hit that 7-goal limit.
You know, they just can't help but get 7 goals. They just can't help but hit that limit, and they do it right there to cap off the grand finals. It feels very fitting for this team. Dotes, Goats, I'm not sure at this point. Actually, they maybe should just change that name. And actually, they've got time because they've got another qualifier to figure out if this is the team. And this kind of feels like the team, especially led by Dismal. Man, did we say this player's name a lot, but for good reason. We talked about all the players we had seen coming in, those names to look out for, and then from the shadows, here is Dismal. And I gotta say, like I said, raise the bar to another level, and it feels like qualifier number 4 gonna be even better as the teams get another chance to figure out what works best for them. It feels like everything is getting better and better as we go on.
I know that if I see a new name in that bracket come next qualifier, I'm going to be rubbing my hands together. Who's this ringer now that somebody's bringing in to counter the Disbel ringer that was brought in? But, we did say Disbel's name a lot, but I got to give it up to Solitude because he was there making the plays that he needed to, covering the space on the pitch that he needed to. Those games don't end in 7-0 if you're not working as a team in 2v2. So well played to both members of Dotes, and I think Double Trouble going to be hitting the lab training just a bit because I don't think we've heard the last from them either, but definitely a leaderboard shakeup after our qualifier number 3. I, of course, want to get Glitter Explosion's thoughts on that grand final. How are you feeling over there?
I feel like you saw my reactions
Yeah.
while it was happening because I was just kind of sitting here like this.
You look stressed.
Right at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just with 2 seconds left on the board.
Yeah.
Just had to make
He
sure
just
they
had
got
do it.
to
They
regulation.
didn't want to be the team that didn't get a 7-goal victory every series, right?
That was insane. And honestly, I think part of it was that there was a little bit of a resurgence there from Double Trouble. And Michael threw them off a little bit. I think they had to kind of reassess and figure out how to play against the instant 3 goals that Michael put up on the board. But then once they adjusted, they end up coming out on top.
Scary. But I definitely do, to your point, think that Double Trouble had what it takes. It was just, I think everyone today was kind of knocked off balance by Disbel, kind of just what he was bringing to the table. So exciting, and I'm ready for more, bring more ringers in qualifier number 4.
100%.
Let's see him.
All day. Yeah. Okay, we're going to take a look back here at the bracket. Obviously, Dotes coming out on top with the 3-0. Down there at the bottom, though, with our 3rd, 4th playoff match, it's frequent Dr. Miles who take home 3rd place, which means Nerve Damage will be in 4th. Dotes, our grand champion. So one more congratulations to Solitude and Disbel, but like you mentioned before, we'll have to see what this does to the leaderboard. That's huge for 2 reasons. One, the fact that Michael and Fear the Knob were in the first 2 qualifiers keeps them in a solid spot at the top. But look at the jump up the leaderboard from Solitude.
Yeah. And Disbel's like just chilling. He's like, Disbel's like yelling from, I don't know, like a 10 or something down there. Wait for me to Solitude as he's flying up the leaderboard. But like you said, one more qualifier officially, then there's the LCQ, and the points really help in that seeding for that qualification for the grand final. So gonna be interesting to see how this all shakes out.
After this broadcast, we'll be doing our community game night. Once again, you can head on over to aet.gg to sign up for that as well. Frank's going to be there now because now he needs to decompress.
I need somebody to read the calendar for me. Yeah, I need help.
And then finally, of course, we mentioned it earlier, but if you'd like to support any of our charity partners, you can head on over to aet.gg/donate, and any money that you give will go evenly dispersed to all 3 of our partners down there at the bottom. Amazing causes, to say the least. So if you can, head on over and give a little bit.
Yeah, and I just got to say, without those charity partners and without Logitech G, we don't get great moments like that with Disbel coming in and kind of knocking our socks off, so to speak. I still have mine on, but they were close, Disbel, I will tell you that. But yeah, thank you again to all of our partners. And man, I just can we start qualifier number 4 now? I feel like I'm ready.
This was great.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to wait, unfortunately.
Okay, I can wait a week.
But it's gonna be exciting. Okay, like Frank is saying, we've got one more qualifier around the corner, and then of course our LCQ before we get to our finals in January, which will probably also fly by for you.
I know, it's gonna go by I can't believe the LCQ. Which team is gonna be the last team to make it?
There's gonna be too many to choose from, honestly.
Because all of these teams, if you're qualified, you're not eligible for that LCQ, so that could be a potential for another team that's even waiting longer than Disbel was waiting for qualifier number 3. I just don't know if I can handle it.
There's so many storylines to talk about at this point, but that's what's expected. Okay, we're in the 3rd out of 4 qualifiers. We're meeting new players. We're building a community. We're having a good time doing it. So make sure you join us for the next one, because it's going to be an epic conclusion to all of our qualifiers for the Adaptive Esports tournaments. We'll see you then.